Friendship in adulthood is very messy because people are trying to figure themselves out. They don't know what they want to do. So many of us haven't healed. So many of us are lost. So many of us just simply don't know how to make friends. We've always made friends by convenience. Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. I was taking a walk and I was just thinking about how I never really fit in with a group of people. Not to the extent of I would get picked on, which sometimes I did because I was the good girl, the smart girl out of the group. But it was more so like people just weren't interested in the things that I was in. People didn't have the mindset that I did. But then like when I grew up, when I went off to college, I didn't know anybody who was going to my college. So it was just me re-entering another realm of me being alone. For so much of my life, I just felt like I was by myself. Even when I wasn't by myself, mentally and spiritually, I felt like I was by myself. I had a hard time really taking that in and being okay with the fact that in a way it's just been me. Even though I knew I was different and I loved that about me, the flip side of that used to bother me because I just felt like I didn't mesh with people. And in order to do that, I had to change and morph into somebody who wasn't really me to be accepted. And one day I was going on this walk and it just came to me, you're not unrelatable. You've just been surrounded by the wrong people. And this kind of leads into what I'm about to say next. We all have our own experiences as youth and as we move into adulthood with friendships. But friendships become really dicey and really different when you get older. There's so many videos out there about people having fun with their friends and then the polar opposite of people being older and have zero friends. And I think a big part of that is because as adults, we just don't know how to have friends. Like, we don't know how to cultivate relationships because most of our friendships were built on some sort of convenience. We meet people at school through friends of friends, through our parents because our parents are cool or our parents are relatives. So we kind of get meshed around these certain people, which works out for a lot of time because we end up loving these people who were destined to be in our life and who were graced to stay in our life. But a lot of times you could find yourself in a position where, for example, you know how there are so many people who graduate from high school and they have no friends. They have associates, but they don't have any friends, like people who they talk to on a regular, people that they hang out with. I really think that's because when we graduate, it wasn't a real friendship, you know, so it just kind of fizzled out. Sometimes we grow apart, but sometimes it's really just that you were bonding over the things that you had to bond over while you were in school or in class together, like teachers or enemies, frenemies, other friends, boys, girls, relationships, sports, just having somebody to eat lunch with. Like, it was this girl in high school that I was really cool with. We met in middle school, and in high school we were really good friends. We were always together at school. People thought we were sisters because we were just always together. But it's like the dynamic of our friendship was just at school. I probably only hung out with her once or twice outside of school for the whole 4 or 5 years of our best friendship, and we never talked outside of school. And we had cell phones, and I really don't know why. It's like the whole school year, you know, we would just be doing our thingy thing, and then when summertime came, we would not talk the whole summer, and then school would come back in and we would just pick up like we just saw each other yesterday. I started to notice that about us our senior year, but by then it was just really normal. It didn't bother me. And surely enough, like, something happened between us our senior year, and after we stopped going to school together, we just stopped talking. We basically just stopped being friends. And I reached out to her years later because I still thought of her, you know, because we were really cool. I reached out to her and, you know, kind of brought up the situation, and it was so crazy because the reason to me that we fell out was a totally different reason that she thought we fell out. I didn't even know what she was talking about. I didn't remember, and I tried to talk to her a little more after that, but the friendship just it just wouldn't re-spark. It was a situation like that with another friend too. Like, we used to be really cool, not best friends, but just really, really cool. And we used to talk outside of school and hang out outside of school and stuff like that. But she started going through some crazy stuff with her baby daddy. And then after she had her baby, which was my freshman year in college, I would hit her up and stuff, and she just stopped messaging me back. Like, she just really ghosted me and ghosted our whole friendship, and that hurt me, but I left it alone. And that was somebody who I brought it up to her years later too, after I had graduated college and stuff like that. You know, when I moved back home in the same vicinity that my friends were in, I hit her back, and I was validated in that she did purposely cut me off. But not just me, she cut off everybody, because her relationship with that guy was so traumatic that anybody that knew him or had any ties to him, she cut them off. That's what she told me. So at this point, I was already over it. I just really felt like I wanted to talk about it, and I tried to talk to her a couple times after that too, but it never re-sparked. And this kind of thing happened with a few friends. I just wanted to come together in that level of communication and openness as adults now, for us to talk about what happened. And then when it came to me trying to see if I could step forward and us continue to be friends, it never re-sparked. And now as an adult, and the things that I've gone through with my current friends and the relationships I've seen through my other friends, I just really realized that sometimes an old relationship or old friendship or old fling is not worth the re-sparking. We come together for a time, and that friendship or whatever might have just been for that season, or it could have just been because you got clustered together. Just really think about it. Of all the people that you grew up with around your whole life, the friends that you had in college, the friends that you had in high school, are you still friends with them? Like, do y'all still link? Do y'all text? Do y'all talk on the phone? Probably not. And then there's this whole epidemic of people trying to find friendships and cultivate friendships in their adulthood, and they have such a hard time because they say, oh, people are flaking, people never hit me back, people are not really real, they're fake, I don't know where to meet people. And I think it's just this big old hodgepodge of really what society is and where we are in life right now, because people don't think about the fact that when you are in your mid-20s to mid-30s, you really don't know what you're doing. We don't know what we're doing. And some people really seem to have it together because they're fortunate or blessed to just have that connection with those friends, to have their business have popped off, to have a great career, and everything just seems to be going well for them. But for the majority of us, we're still kind of walking around like nomads. Have y'all ever seen that movie Soul, where 22 had got lost and she was just like in this realm of creatures just walking around lost? I believe that that's what most of us are doing, because we're just trying to figure out life. We're trying to figure out what we want to do, where we want to go, what God has for us, if God even has a will for us, because we're trying so hard and we can't figure out what's going on. If we're going to have kids, if we want to have kids, who are we? What do we like? What we don't like? Trying to separate ourselves from doing things that everybody else want to do so we can fully be ourselves. Being confident, looking good. There's so many things that are going on at this period in our lifetime that when you try to involve other people in that, it's going to be a mess. As a 30-year-old woman with 2 children, friendships can be a little difficult for me to navigate. For example, I have line sisters, I have friends, and I have cousins that are like in my age that we grew up together talking. So I find myself in a space of none of my friends have kids, and the people who I'm close to that do have kids, their kids are way younger than mine. So it already kind of brings this imbalance, because if I want to come over, if I want to hang out and my children are with me, my kids don't have nothing to do or nobody to talk to at your house. I grew up, everybody was all in the same city. All of my mama's siblings, like they all had children. Like we cousins on cousins, you feel me? On both sides of the family. My mama's side, my nana side, and my stepdaddy family, there was always children around. So the adults would do their thing and the kids would do their thing, but it's not the same experience for my children. They don't have anyone or anything there, so that puts me in a place where I'm like, okay, I either have to have my kids something to do while I'm over there. My youngest is still little, so I have to keep my eyes on him. Or it has to be some sort of connectivity where my children are not coming. You know what I'm saying? And for somebody who doesn't have kids, they're not thinking like that because they don't have kids. And if somebody hit me up and I want to do something right then, but then something comes up with my kids, it's just like I'm not flaking, but like I gotta take care of my home, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Even if you don't have kids and you live with a significant other, that brings a whole nother realm too, because at that point it's you and someone else. Like, you have a home that you're catering to and not just your friends. Like, there's a separation. So I think things just get really murky and really dicey when you get older, when you have friendships in your adulthood in general. But also because so many people are still trying to make things happen or figure out what's going on. They're moving towards certain things and moving away from certain things. On top of the fact that most of our friendships are cultivated from convenience. For me, it works out because I love all my line sisters. I love all my friends. I love my cousins. But I can see between other people and other situations that if these people hadn't been put in this type of situation, they probably would not be friends. Like, they probably would not be cool. They probably would not be hanging out as much as they do, because we just all come clustered together. And then when we get to that point in life where we start feathering out, when we get older, we don't know how to meet people. We don't know where to go. You have to put yourself in a vulnerable position to meet a friend, just like you do with somebody trying to get at you or somebody trying to date you. It takes a little bit of boldness and vulnerability to start that, and that's what it takes for a friend too. So to even muster that up to do that, because you don't know how they're gonna accept you, is one thing. But for somebody to come at you and you feel like, oh, this person, you know, from my time being around them, I know we're not clicking like that. You just have to take all these things into consideration. Just because somebody seems like they might vibe with you or they might be cool with you, they might not be in a season in their life where they're ready to make friends because they're already confused about life, or they might just feel like you don't naturally fit for them. I think a lot of people feel some type of way when they want to be friends with somebody and that person is not really clicking with them. But we never really know what somebody is going through in a period of their life. I haven't been in a season of meeting new people because I've been really deep within trying to figure out what's going on with me. And right at the beginning of this journey, I met this girl and she came on kind of strong, I'm not even gonna lie. But where I was mentally, I figured I'll just give it a shot. And months down the road, I was thinking that I made a bad decision, because this girl was in the season of let's hang out, let's do this, let's talk, like doing all the friend things. And I'm just sitting here like,
I don't want to do none of that.
I didn't really realize that I wasn't in a place of not wanting to make friends until I had somebody in my phone constantly trying to do friend things and was like heavy on it. So I think that's something too that we have to consider. You don't really know where people are in that time. And if somebody says something to you like, yeah, let's get together, let's link, yeah, let's do this thing, and then you hit them up and they never hit you back, you could feel some type of way, because you like, why did they even waste my time? Why did they even waste my energy when they don't even want to link? Because I was cool with somebody like that too. Like, she was always good vibes. Hey boo, we was in person and we had a good time. And then she would be like, yeah, let's do this again, we should, you know, get together every other week. I'm like, that's cool with me. But every time I would hit her up, she would blow me off. Something would come up, or she would just forget about the plans and never say anything. And it used to really get under my skin. After a while, I'm like, you know what, I really wanted this to work, but I don't know what this girl got going on in her life, but she is not in a place where she can be my friend right now. It hurt because I cared about her, but I had to let her go. And that's just how that went. And I think we have to have some sort of grace for people to know somebody might be reaching a hand out to you to be like, let's link, and then not hit you back. Because people are really in a space where they are just doing the things that sound right. You ever come into contact with somebody that you ain't seen in a while, or that you used to be cool with, and you be like, yeah, let's get together, hit me up, I'll hit you up, and then you walk off and you like, I don't even know why I said that, because I know I'm not gonna do it. If you've ever felt like that, just imagine how many other people do that too. I think friendship in adulthood is very messy, because people are trying to figure themselves out. They don't know what they want to do. They're trying to get away from hanging with these type of people and go into this realm. They're trying to figure out life, and adulthood is just happening. There's so many things that are going on, and friendship just kind of gets stepped on a lot of times. But that doesn't mean that we can't have good adult friendships, or that it'll never happen for a lot of us. So many times I see in the comments, people are like, oh, I'm good not having friends. Friends come with a lot of stress. And yeah, I do believe that they do, but that's when you're not in alignment with the right friends and you pick the wrong people. Because in reality, we're humans. We were not created to be alone. So it is good to have friends, at least one or two, but you got to be in a good space mentally, spiritually, and emotionally to evoke those good friendships and those good people that fit for you. And I think too that people tend to think that a friend has to be everything on a certain list that you consider a friend. But I know, me personally, I found that not many of my friends check all the boxes. It's like I have one friend that I can go to when I'm feeling vulnerable and I'm down. I have one friend that I can go to when I want to share big aspirations, and I have a friend that I can go to when I want to talk about life and deep stuff. It's just everybody's different, and at one point I expected to have like multiple friends, but one singular friend that I could go to for everything, and I can't really do that. Like, you may find a friend that you can go to for every single thing, but make sure that you check in on them too and see how you're doing, because most people who have a person that they can go to, that friend for everything, that friend is usually the strong friend, the empathetic friend, who people are not seeing that something is really happening to them in their lives. Friendships come with balance. You can't expect to go to one friend for every single thing in life. So if you had a season where you don't have any friends and you cool with it, that's cool, you know. But I do think it's good for the human soul to have at least one friend. Finding that friend in adulthood is a little dicey, but I think it's different when you go about it just living your life and people just come to you, and then you can factor in at that moment, is this somebody I would want to move forward with or not? Because when you're actively trying to seek friends, that's when you're getting yourself in the position of, you know, I'ma just go for it, not really knowing what you're getting yourself into, and then it falls apart. Even if you do meet somebody naturally and it falls apart, we just got to understand it's just like dating. Everybody that you come across is not going to be that one. And friendships have come to that point in adulthood. Real friendships, you have to treat them like that. If this person doesn't work, or we don't work out, or there's too much resistance, there's too much conflict, okay, we tried, I appreciate it, I had a good time with you while it lasted, and move on to the next. A lot of these friends are grandfathered in. People don't even be rocking with these people like that they've been friends with for decades, but they've been friends for so long that who's gonna break it off? What we all need to do is collectively take a deep breath, recenter ourselves, and know that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I believe in divine timing, in divine relationships and friendships. And if you have friendships, no matter how many that fell away or fell apart, just take from it something that you can carry with you on in your life, positive, a lesson that you learned, something that can make you a better friend, or you could look out in other people from what that last person did to you. I think it's important that we should have friends, and that we should be able to have fun and break away from our spouses or significant others or our family or our children or whoever, to just go hang out with our friends. Family is something that you can't choose, but you can choose friends. You can choose friends. That's what's so great about them. And yeah, there's a lot of times where things do get uncomfortable, but you got to learn how to just keep it real with people. I'm a true advocate, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It can be something that sounds so bad, but if you say it with love and care, and that person really knows you and they know your heart, then even if they do feel some type of way about it, at the end of the day, they have to respect you. And if they don't, then there's something going on with them that you can't do anything about. Making friends as an adult is hard, especially the further you get into friendships. I mean, you could be late in your 20s or 30s and don't have any friends, and as another person coming in, they're gonna look at you and call that a red flag. Why don't they have any friends? That's a red flag. When you could have been the good person that just got stepped on and ran over for all those years. But that's somebody from the outside looking in, judging you because you don't have anybody. And that's the type of person that if they do that to you, you just have to thank God that y'all didn't get close enough to even get into a situation where y'all would have to break apart anyway. We have to go into these friendships with an open mind, an open heart, and discernment. Just like dating, you have to be ready to be vulnerable and be open with a friend, because if you're not, you just need to wait until you heal, until you're ready, because any relationships comes with risk. You risk yourself putting yourself out there in any kind of way, putting your heart out there, putting your mind out there, putting your words and your time and any other your resources out there. It's hard out here for us, but it's a part of life. So many of us haven't healed. So many of us are lost. So many of us just simply don't know how to make friends because we've never had to. We've always made friends by convenience. Like, people make friends from people from work. I don't go into work expecting to be cool with somebody or getting chummy with people at work or telling them my home business and stuff like that, because I just don't believe in that. We just work together. We both just got hired here. That doesn't give you an in my life for you to know everything that I did over the weekend. People at work love to ask you, oh, how was your weekend? What did you do? Where did y'all go? They love to know about your relationship and all this stuff, but I'm not the one. Because you're not my friend. We're just on the same payroll, you feel me? So yeah, if you find yourself having a hard time connecting with people or feeling like there's people out there for you or who get you or anything like that, just know that there are people out there. Your tribe is out there, and you may be a part of somebody else's tribe. That's what a good friendship is. You're a part of their tribe and they're a part of yours. There's way too many people out here in this world for there to be absolutely no one who gets us, who vibes with us, who is interested in the same things as us or anything down that road. You are validated. You are loved. Validation connects us. It's okay to get validated by people. It's okay to feel seen by people. That's what connects us as a human race. But when you start living for the validation, where you start living for the connection, and you don't know how to create a good, happy, healthy, whole connection, that's where you messed up. That's all I have for y'all today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I love y'all, and until next time, peace and love. I'm out.